My son was getting married and I went to his house. So I told him, Mr. Rao, my son is getting married. No? So he said, sorry, Asha, I can't come for the wedding. But all my blessings are with you. Sorry, I'm. So this was the last meeting with him.
Dad. Dad is how we always knew him. As I grew up, it was Papa because he was the father.
I know N.S. Rao from my childhood.
In those days, we used to be very happy when he comes down to the native place because we used to get chocolates from him.
While in the Rotary, I used to call him Sippy.
I addressed him as Papa. He was my hero. He meant the world to me.
His terms are very straightforward, really. It's about being unquestioning, unjudgmental, loving without any kind of preconditions, and he would be there in case you needed him. And you can't expect more from a father.
He was very much concerned with his work as well as the Pci employees as a family.
He was generous, no doubt about it.
If he had the last shirt, he would even give the last shirt to you in case you asked.
He was very, very considerate of the people who used to work in the field.
He was a man with an enormous heart.
Given a lot of donations to most of the poor people to come up in their life.
I saw his generosity mainly through Rotary.
He just was a philanthropic person. It didn't matter whether somebody knew, didn't know. And that's, I think, the measure of the man.
When they were growing up, they had nothing, literally nothing. I mean, public, common toilets and starting outside in the gutter, literally, because that was the only light available.
I was given milk to drink and I spilled a bit. And he raised his voice, which he never had. And that I never forgot. I spoke to him much later. And I said, Papa, why did you do this? I've never forgotten this. So he said, you must understand, times were very bad. There was not enough to eat. And even one drop of milk was important. We couldn't let it go waste. We couldn't afford it.
Poverty somehow has got a peculiar property that it brings about the best in man.
From rags to riches was what I would describe N.S. Rao was.
One thing that he's taught us is always about family and community. And that was evident in the fact that there were a lot of people living. We had sort of an extended family.
Sripadmam and Lily Pachi, Lily Mami as we called her, they were the de facto head of our family.
For us, he was like a father.
Well, I never really called him grandfather. To me, he was always dad. When you say dad, it has this overarching, patriarchal sort of sound to it. And even mum, she was also very instrumental in supporting him, and they made a fantastic team together.
He was our father and he's everybody's father.
N.S. Rao will remember in our heart forever as a father.
The reason he started the company was not big money, but he used to find solace in the fact that he was able to feed that many people.
His thoughts, his ideas were so contemporary that they were relevant for the past, the present, and for the future.
A lot of the technicians had this habit of living beyond their means. And they'll go home with the leftovers and then the wife has to deal with whatever she can. So the company gave every employee 10 kilos of rice, 5 kilos of sugar, all the staples in kind every month. Now, the point is, the family was provided for.
We had Amma allowance. Amma allowance was given to the mother of the employee.
Very often, if she were to live, she would be considered a burden on the family. It's not your salary. This is an extra that you will take as a part so that you cannot have a reason not to feed her and look after her and don't consider her a burden in your life. That's what the Amma Fund is about.
So those were the great ideas, and those were the first thing in corporate India. That's great about it.
I think that this whole business angle just really stemmed out of emotion, love, art, and the fact that he wanted to do something good.
N.S. Rao, Sir Sripadmam, his greatness is in this respect that though not a highly educated man, in different fields of walks of life, he has distinguished himself.
His simplicity and principles That made him very great.
According to him, PCI is people, community, individual.
Most of these companies which are there in pest management, most of them they are offshoots of PCI. He never discouraged those people who wanted to start their own companies. As a matter of fact, he encouraged them.
His philosophy was one about creating goodwill. And you can't create goodwill by pushing your PR. You just have to be that way. So all the ethics, sense of propriety, fair business practices, very substantial and very very generous employee benefit schemes. He would come up with all kinds of things.
I remember Mr. Rao
As a legend.
in every sense of the word.
He is truly a real legend.
The legend is what other people perceive him to be. To him, he never considered himself a legend. Dad was not a guy who would sit here and talk about his accolades and his achievements. He just did things quietly, and I found out through my father or through people who I talked to, he just became a legend in other people's eyes. He never did it with the intention. He did it because he believed it was the right thing to do.
I really think that's the gist. He got it right.
What is his philosophy of life? How to be happy? Come to your garden by the flowers. Never count by the leaves that fall. Come to your days by the golden hour. Don't think of clouds at all. Come to your nights by the stars, not shadows. Come to your life with smiles, not tears, and rejoice through all your lifetime. Come to your age by friends and not peers.